welcome to the Wolfchase Toyota Insider on the Memphis Tiger Network. I'm Jeff Brywell alongside Russ McNichol, the pitching coach and associate head coach for Tiger Baseball. And Coach, things are going pretty well so far this season. You guys are out to a really good start.
Yeah, it's been fun. You know, we've gotten off to a great start in terms of, you know, what we thought we were going to be able to do. But we played a lot of games at home. It's you got to take care of home business.
We're going to backtrack, talk about your pitchers here in a minute. But let's talk first of all about the 2-1 series win over Cincinnati. It's the first series win over Cincinnati since 2004. Now, that wasn't that long of a stretch because you guys were split between Conference USA and the Big East for about 5 or 6 years, but I know for this staff it was nice to finally get that series win.
It was, and every game has been very competitive. There's been a lot of extra inning games when we play Cincinnati, and it just seems like we've always been one pitch away or one inning away from of taking care of business. But to go on the road opening weekend and against them too is kind of like getting the monkey off your back a little bit. But our team has really responded well so far in terms of just being from behind and playing and playing a very good baseball game.
3 tight games up there, and that's a little bit different for you guys up there. We've played on field turf surfaces before, but Cincinnati's the one place we play where the mound is actually field turf. And I've asked pitchers in the past, they actually kind of like it, doesn't develop that hole. What kind of feedback did you get from your guys?
Our guys don't really, have an issue with it because, again, it's a good feel. You can repeat something and you never have to worry about like a hole, like you said, or sliding. Sometimes when the mound gets wet, those turf mounds can be very difficult, but we didn't have that issue this weekend. It was a little misty one night, but guys never said a word about it.
Coach, you turn around, you get a 6-0 shutout at Belmont on Monday, and that's not a ballpark you expect to ever get a shutout in. And we pulled up yesterday again, and the flags are just blasting out the left field.
Yeah, as a pitching coach, that's the first thing you look for when you get to the top of the hill. But and you know what it's going to be like every day. But John went out and dominated the bottom of the strike zone and against a very good club. They had a great weekend and they've been swinging the bat very well. So, but it's really neat to see John's development and seeing him now starting to be more consistent on a day-to-day basis. And then, when we brought a freshman in, he got his first college save, and he had to pitch through some tough conditions at times because it was coming down pretty hard at one point when he was out there on the mound.
You mentioned Jonathan, and he's kind of an example of that whole sophomore class. Last year, first sign of trouble, they were really kind of scared to locate a ball, and they got into a lot of freebies, a lot of walks, a lot of wild pitches. The jump they've made to their sophomore year has been pretty incredible.
Well, the one thing Coach Rock talks about all the time is development. And, for those guys to be pushed in the deep end last year and not even have a chance to learn how to swim was difficult for them and for us as a coaching staff. But I think that experience, and then most of them going out and having success in the summer ball circuit has really paid dividends for those guys. But, they've put in the work and they understand that you've got to be able to double up strikes and you've got to be able to pitch ahead in the count. And they didn't do that as freshmen. And it's easy because I see some of our freshmen now doing the same things. If, they miss a little bit, then they try to be a little bit more finer. Next thing you know, the bases are full of freebies, and then all of a sudden a base hit creates a monster for them. But that's the difference in the experience that we have with John and Colton Hathcock and John Crosby and those guys that have really pitched well, Alex Hicks, versus some guy like a Danny Dens that's just really getting his feet wet.
You mentioned Danny. He's a guy that could project out to be pretty good here at Memphis.
I think so. We signed him when we felt like that he has a potential to be a weekend starter for us. He's got a good 3-pitch mix, and he's not a dominating presence when you see him on the mound, but he knows how to pitch and he'll compete. And we've got some other young guys that I'm really excited about. We've got some guys coming in next year in that recruiting class that I think will help as well.
Coach, I know you handle the pitchers, but you got to like the hitters, and Chris Carrier gets hitter of the week. You always love that run support.
Well, as a former hitting guy, it's always nice to get runs and get runs early. So, but the greatest thing about this offense and what Coach Green has done is they continue to grind at bats. We put them behind the 8 ball a bunch early in the year by giving them up a bunch of runs early from a pitching staff, and our offense just kind of grinded through it and gave us some chance to get back in the game. And now that's been fun to see, just because last year's club we get down early and it was almost impossible for us to get back into a game.
You turn around tomorrow night, you'll play Alcorn State, just the one home game in this rough 10-day stretch.
Yeah, and it's we're going to try to get a bunch of guys some works. We're going to start Tommy Moran, who'll get his first start, and I'm excited about watching him and getting him an opportunity to get this opportunity. But he's really worked hard. in these last couple weeks preparing for this, and I think he's ready for that. And then we're going to throw some other guys too to get ready for the tough opponent on UConn.
You mentioned UConn last year and even this year, maybe the best frontline pitching 1, 2, 3 as far as the rotation, and just in time to get Tim Cate, the freshman of the year, back. They're coming off a huge weekend. They went down to nationally ranked East Carolina and got a sweep.
Well, I thought they were the best team by far last year in our league, and they had a pitcher of the year, they had a freshman pitcher of the year in Tim, and then they had the hitter of the year.
Yeah.
I just felt like that they were, and they're very well coached, and Jim does a phenomenal job with his club, and it'll be a battle for us, going on the road again, and like you said, they came off a road-tested East Carolina sweep, so we've got our hands full with them, and but again, I like our club, and I like what our pitchers are doing right now, so hopefully we'll get up there and take care of business.
Coach, sounds good. We'll see you at the park.
Thanks, Jeff.
That is Russ McNichol, and I'm Jeff Brightwell for the Wolfchase Toyota Insider on the Memphis Tiger Network.